over here today at ARC Solutions to talk about the two of the best-selling helmets that Lincoln Electric has to offer. One being the Viking 2450 and the other being the Viking 3350. Just want to run through some features, advantages of both and kind of decipher between the two helmets. The first thing to talk about is the 4C technology that Lincoln Electric advertises. A lot of people have heard of this, but may not understand what the 4Cs are, and I just want to run through what those are. So the first being the clarity. Lincoln Electric has a rating, optical clarity of a 1111, which is the highest rating that you can get when it comes to welding helmets and how clear everything is through the visual lens of the welding helmet. The next being the color. Traditional welding helmets, you may have seen a kind of a green hue when welding through the lens. With these Viking helmets, there is a true blue or a real color view when looking through the lens of these helmets. Something you might be able to relate to is if you were going scuba diving in a swamp or scuba diving in an ocean. You have a lot more clarity when you're in the ocean versus with that green hue to the swamp. So there's a picture that you'll see on the screen here which reflects what that may look like. Third being carat or weight of the helmet. So both helmets are relatively lightweight for having the large viewing ADF cartridge built into it. And the fourth being the cut. So from one corner to the other corner of the ADF cartridge or the viewing lens, there's an even shade at every angle that you can look through. So those are the 4Cs. In terms of the viewing area on each of these, being pretty much the only difference between the hoods, the 2450 is going to have a 9.3 square inch viewing area, where the 3350 is going to have a 12.5 inch square inch viewing area. So slightly larger when it comes to height of the viewing. The width of the view is going to be the same, but for a little bit more money, you'll get a larger viewing area, which a lot of people do prefer. So inside, let's talk about the lens on each one of these helmets. They're going to be a little bit different in terms of where the buttons are located, but each helmet's going to have the same type of button. There's 5 buttons to know on here. 3 of the main dials, they're analog dials, are delay time, sensitivity, and then your shade knob. The helmets will go from a shade 5 all the way up to a shade 13, and the way to get between those is up on the top of the 3350 lens. You'll have a button that goes from 5 to 8 on one side and then 9 to 13 on the other. So depending on where that button is positioned, will be what shade you're deciphering between on the shade knob. And lastly, there's a test button. So down on this test button, if you hit the button, it will darken, provided the batteries are all working correctly. And then there's also an LED for the low profile grind button on the outside here. So when you hold the low profile grind button in for a couple seconds, you'll get a flashing green light that basically kicks that weldment into grind mode. And then if I hold it for 3 seconds again, the light will flash again and it will be back into welding mode. On the 2450, the only difference that you'll see, everything's still the same, but instead of the knob on the top that goes from the shade 5 to 8 and 9 to 13, that knob is now down on the bottom next to the test button. So those are the only differences between the viewing lenses inside. Headgear. Both helmets will have the same 6-point harness headgear. So when we talk about 6 points, that's 6 points of contact on your head. So very, very good comfort when it comes to wearing these helmets for an entire work shift. You have this hood on for, call it 6 to 8 hours a day. So being a welder in the industry, it's imperative to have comfort when it comes to wearing these hoods. Another big thing to point out outside of the ratchet headgear strap is the side adjustments. By adjusting these sides, it will move the helmet closer to your face or further from your face, which will adjust where that helmet sits on your head. So again, as you wear this helmet all day, every day, where that helmet is positioned on top of your head may take the weight from kind of leaning forward to more sitting on top of your head for more comfort. So the headgear is very nice to have when it comes to comfort and reliability for the helmet. Last thing to talk about is the warranty on all Viking hoods. We have now gone to an industry-leading 5-year warranty on our hoods. So when it comes to anything faulting out with the ADF cartridge, within 5 years, Lincoln will replace the ADF cartridge at no cost to the operator. provided it was not broken by the operator and it was just a malfunction of the ADF. If you're ever needing replacement parts, inside of the hood here on the shell is a list of all of the replacement parts, whether it being lenses, ADF cartridges, headgear, anything that you'll need to repair things down the road or in the future. Everything will be listed on the inside of the hood that you can then give that part number to your supplier and get those ordered. So with that, those are kind of the differences and advantages of the Viking 2450 and 3350. If you have any further questions, get with your local suppliers and they'd be happy to help you out. Thank you. Have a good day.